Okay guys, UFC 306 is finally over and I'm going to give you my thoughts on everything that happened on this card. So let's start off with Raul Rosas Jr. and Aoriqileng. So I picked Raul Rosas Jr. to win, obviously. I didn't expect Aoriqileng to be as tough as he was because I thought there was going to be a finish here. But the guy actually pulled through. During my stream, I kind of compared him to a moth that refuses to die, but I guess cockroaches are kind of the same. I don't want to compare him to a cockroach because cockroaches are not cool animals. At least moths are like, I mean, I don't like them, but they're cooler than cockroaches. Let's just say that. But he was tough. He was resilient, and obviously he had nothing for Raul Rosas Jr. on the ground. Only on the feet he found some success, but anyhow, Raul Rosas Jr. won. And you know what, guys? I thought we were starting off this card strongly. I was like, what a start for Mexico. There wasn't a finish, but you know. And after that, all the Mexicans just proceeded to lose. So next up we had Edgar, Chairez, and Joshua Van. At this point in the night, guys, after this fight, I was still convinced that I was doing well regarding picks. So I picked Joshua Van. I knew he was going to brawl, and I didn't think Edgar Chairez was going to be a problem for him. He wasn't quite as tall as Charles Johnson, and so I figured, like, if Joshua Van just has the exact same approach that he had with Charles Johnson, he's going to win, because I seriously think that the only thing that was holding him back was the reach disadvantage, the distance. So basically, he just kind of slowly won this fight. He just did more each round. I think Edgar Chairez got round 1 maybe, and then Joshua Van won the other 2. So solid win for Joshua Van, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Let's move on to Yazmin Jauregui and Ketlen Souza. Okay, so this is where the fuckery begins. Okay, so I picked Yazmin Jauregui, guys. I picked her because she's just a more technical fighter. I think she's more skilled. However, I did not expect Ketlen Souza to summon the Mexican spirits, or sorry, summon the Brazilian spirits, and win the fight with just rage and determination, because that's what I saw here in this fight. And yeah, it was a first round finish. Like, she literally put Yazmin Jauregui to sleep, and that's just like not really what I expect from a women's fight at all, let alone the underdog, who is supposed to be the less skilled one. But as we saw in this card, skill can sometimes get trumped by just sheer willpower and determination. So yeah, that was that. Let's move on to Manuel Torres and Ignacio Bahamondes. Oh my god, guys. I think we have established after this that Manuel Torres has negative fight IQ, okay? Because he kept getting wobbled, okay? He kept like going in fully open, getting caught in Ignacio Bahamondes's jabs. Like, he fell so many times. And then one time he almost got finished, you know? There was one time where he fell and he almost got finished by Ignacio Bahamondes. And then God gave him a second chance. He was able to get out of it. I don't know how, you know? He was able to survive, which was great. And he immediately proceeded to do the same thing again. Go in, and this time he actually got finished. So I don't really have much to say on that other than, why would you do that? I'm never ever picking Manuel Torres again. Like, fight IQ, I didn't know he had negative fight IQ, so now we know. Anyhow, guys, let's move on now to Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. So I actually thought that Irene Aldana was gonna be the type of fighter that Norma Dumont came out to be during this fight. Norma Dumont was just so on point, guys, the whole time. She did not miss a beat. Like, Irene Aldana didn't do shit except for like look like she was hunting Norma Dumont, but at the same time, like, literally not doing anything. By the end of it, her face was looking so wrecked. Like, everyone knows what Brian Ortega's face looked like after his fight with Max Holloway. So, this is exactly what happened to Irene Aldana, but her face actually kind of looked worse because she had, like, a huge cut just down her forehead and, like, on her face, I think, somewhere. But it was, like, scary to look at. I was kind of shocked that she didn't, like, she literally had nothing for Norma Dumont. Like, I didn't expect Norma Dumont to just be dishing out shots every 2 seconds, and Irene Aldana just kind of, like, following her, but not, like, having anything for her, like, maybe going in once in a while, but, like, skittishly and pulling back. Anyways, that was that. Like, mildly disappointing. Another Mexican loss. Now we have 2. Ignacio Bahamondes. Oh, sorry, 3. My bad. Yazmin Jauregui, Manuel Torres, and Irene Aldana. That's 3 so far. Okay, next up, the the redemption fight. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osbourne. This was an epic fight. It's probably second tier fight of the night fight because it seemed for a second like Ronaldo Rodriguez was losing in the first round. Ode Osbourne got really confident. He did appear to be faster, and I think that caught Ronaldo Rodriguez off guard a little bit, but he almost had him in a submission. Ode Osbourne almost had Ronaldo Rodriguez in a submission, and like, his arm was pretty tight around his neck. I don't really know how he managed to slip out, but he did via sheer, like, determination. You know what I mean? Like, it was the kind of shit. It was like Volkanovski with Brian Ortega, like, just staying in it because your body will not let you give up, and that was incredible to see. And then he came back, like, stronger the second and third round. Like, he was able to control. I think that caught Ozzy Osbourne off guard because I think there was, like, something inside of him that awakened after that, especially when he, clearly walked into this fight with the mindset of, hey, I can't lose and I'm not going to lose, so it's this or nothing. And so that's what happened. At the end, at the second round, it looked like he was gonna submit Ode Osbourne, but there wasn't enough time. And I think same thing with round 3. I don't remember exactly, but I think he finished the third round in a dominant position. Like, and there was even a point where he, like, completely had Ode Osbourne flattened out. Like, not something you would expect, especially since Ode Osbourne was talking shit, saying, like, you haven't fought good competition like me. You lost the fight, bro. It was a close fight. It was, but yeah, I could see how Ronaldo Rodriguez did more, and I would give him the win just because of, like, how much of a warrior he was in that fight. Okay, let's move on now to Daniel Zellhuber and Esteban Ribovics. This will be the 4th Mexican loss on this card. So I picked Daniel Zellhuber. This was a close fight, guys. It was pretty slow for the first 2 rounds, I would say. I thought Daniel Zellhuber was just going to be a jab merchant the whole time, play it safe. He's taller, he has the reach advantage, like, he's not going to really mess around too much, to be honest. And then in round 3, Esteban Ribovics, like, wobbled Daniel Zellhuber really bad, started going all in, like, he could have finished him, but Daniel Zellhuber then started to fight back. Like, he didn't accept it. Sometimes fighters would accept it, but this dude started, like, fighting back. He didn't run either. Like, he didn't run. He started fighting back. And then for the rest of that round, we just saw one of the craziest exchanges I've seen in a while, honestly. Both of them were just going at it, tagging each other the whole time. No breaks. No pause. All gas. No breaks. Like, the whole time, I didn't even know what to say. I was speechless. Like, my jaw was basically falling. It's difficult sometimes to find 2 fighters that have the same kind of mindset and that are willing to fight in that kind of way. And so these 2 were, and a very okay fight turned into, I guess this became the fight of the night, probably. Because, yeah, it was solid. I'm gonna end up rewatching that last round later when it's available. But yeah, epic fight. At the end, it was actually given to Esteban Ribovics, though, which I could see, I guess. Overall, I guess that's what they added up. But both of these dudes did a really good job, honestly. Okay, guys. Next up on the card, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. So you guys know what I picked, okay? And I was pretty confident that Brian Ortega would be able to handle Diego Lopes. Yes, I knew that Brian Ortega wasn't like amazing on the feet. I also knew that he absorbs a decent amount of damage. However, I thought that no worries, you know, he's gonna take Diego Lopes down, and that's all he needs to do. That's all he needs to do. But that didn't like happen at all. He didn't even get one takedown, not a single takedown. Not one. He failed every single takedown. He failed every single takedown. And Diego Lopes was just really fast, really explosive. Like in the time that it took to shoot a 1-2 for Brian Ortega, Diego Lopes would have already shot like 6 shots. So he was just outpacing Ortega the whole time. Was too quick to get taken down. Was like surprisingly focused, and you know, I guess he improved a lot over the past year, because I feel like I saw him like earlier some months ago, like even before my channel. And I mean, it depends on who he was fighting, I guess. But I don't think I remember myself being that impressed. And now now I can't tell like if he's really good or if Brian Ortega and Volkanovski are just not that good. Like not Ilia Topuria and Diego Lopes good, you know what I mean? Because now I'm recalling like the Volkanovski loss to Ilia Topuria as well. And it was also like really quick and like not competitive. So yeah, I mean I have a lot to think about with this one. But am I disappointed? Yeah. Now we all have to live with this. Like I don't know where Brian Ortega is gonna go after this, because this was the fight. Like this was the fight where he was supposed to prove himself, and there's been so much build up. I wonder though, what I feel like maybe he would have won had he actually decided to fight on the what was it, the Whitaker and Aoriqileng card. If he decided to fight then, maybe he would have won. Just because like Diego Lopes was going through all those crazy weight changes anyhow. But he lost this time. So, alright, let's move on, guys, to the co-main event. This was a pretty good fight, actually. I enjoyed watching it because I realized a lot about Valentina Shevchenko. But yes, this next fight is with Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah, this fight I think just goes to show that, well, it seems that the theme of this entire card was determination and willpower, and your mindset, I guess in general, will bring you farther than your idea of how good you are. And I was recalling like what Alexa Grasso said during the pre-fight press conference when she was asked how she would win this, and I think that was the question, and she said something along the lines of, "We're gonna do everything to keep the belt in Mexico." That's not an answer. You sound like Yuri Prohashka. Sorry, kind of. You sound like Yuri Prohashka, or he was like, "I'm not gonna change anything. Just gonna go in there." I'm taking notes on this and like gonna remember for future purposes that a fighter that talks about their game plan like this obviously doesn't have one, and thinks that, probably assumes that they're better than they actually are. During this fight, Valentina Shevchenko was just so technical. She was so good. She was getting all of her takedowns. Like, she was frustrating Alexa Grasso so much. There was nothing Alexa could do. Now, I know that Valentina may be like on the sauce now. However, this also, I mean, I've never seen this kind of performance from a woman where she just fucking plowed through every single round. She won every single round. And in like 3 of the rounds, I think it was like 3 of the rounds, she finished on Alexa Grasso's back in the beginning stages of like getting a rear naked choke. Like just finally like getting herself into that position. So, you know, she did well with every single time she got Alexa on the ground. Alexa basically didn't get back up, like it was over for her. And yeah, like it was really inspiring. And it reminded me, I mentioned this on my stream. I like connected the dots together about how Valentina Shevchenko has a hard time accepting losses. And I started to realize that it's because she has made MMA her entire life, like her entire life. I remember on my stream mentioned that she, you know, sacrificed having like a family for this. And so when she loses a fight, it's not just a loss for her. It's like, it probably means that her life's work is a failure to her. That's probably what it feels like, is that her entire life is a failure. So I can now understand why she is the way she is about her losses and how she's not so, you know, willing to accept them as such. And especially when she feels she did everything like technically right. Maybe that's what she tells herself, is that, hey, I did everything that I could. And maybe that's her way of saying that. But yeah, I don't know. This was a bit of a refreshing fight, but this was, I think, the fifth Mexican that lost on this card, Alexa Grasso. Unless you want to count Brian Ortega as a Mexican as well, then that would be six. But I guess he's not really. I don't know. I guess he was born in America, so maybe he's American. Anyways, Valentina Shevchenko basically schooled Alexa Grasso in a very dominant kind of way. You know, she wanted to get that belt wrapped around her at the end. She wanted to do her little Kyrgyzstan dance, and she did both of those things. So I'm happy for her because obviously she was more determined and she's the one that won. So, all right, guys, let's move on now to the last fight on this card. And by this point, guys, I was like, I'm not even gonna be surprised if Merab wins based on how this whole card has been going, because everything was just so backwards. Sean O'Malley versus Merab, or should we say Soy Boy Sean versus Merab, because not gonna lie, but Sean did kind of look like a soy boy in that octagon. Merab made Sean O'Malley look like a soy boy. So I think we're just gonna have to call him Soy Boy Sean. Soy Boy Sean got completely fucking wrecked by Merabi. Okay? So, like, the whole time, Merab just went in there, ruthless, relentless, ragdolled Sean O'Malley for 5 rounds. Basically, is like the short version of what happened. Yeah, Sean O'Malley just got fucking ragdolled. Could barely hit Merab. Merab was just way too fast. Like, the feinting that Sean O'Malley was doing was like completely ineffective. And yeah, he just didn't really switch his technique up at all. I mean, I guess, you know, there's not much you can do when there's like a tanky fighter like Merab, who apparently doesn't run out of gas for 5 rounds straight. For 5 rounds straight, Merab was just like throwing himself into Sean O'Malley, getting these takedowns. Like, I've never seen someone get takedowns the way Merab does it. Like, he'll just run into you and like push you down to the ground and start working, I guess. Yeah, it was pretty, I mean, it was kind of epic to watch, and it was so fitting. Like, it was literally the cherry on top of this weird card, this backwards card. I should have given Merab more credit. Honestly, I thought that Sean O'Malley would have an easier time taking or defending the takedowns from Merabi, but I now know that when there's a tanky dude like this fighting you know, a taller, lankier guy, the tankier dude is usually gonna win. And somebody mentioned this in my stream, because this is what happened with Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad, and this is also what happened with Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis. So for future reference, I'm taking a mental note. Yeah. Anyhow, guys, it was a pretty interesting card. Everything kind of went like backwards. most of the Mexicans lost, which is very interesting. And the ones that won, Ronaldo Rodriguez and Raul Rosas Jr., probably the two guys on this card who fight with the most like spirit, the most soul. So if you haven't been convinced yet that spirituality can help you in your endeavors, then maybe look into that, because apparently this card has shown us that maybe spirituality is the best base for MMA. Anyhow, guys, that'll be the end of the video. I'm gonna play the Shama Bowl for you guys, just so we, you know, bring it back to baseline. End this off on a good low note, I guess. Or a high note. Oh, I hit that one perfectly. Like, I hit it in a way where maybe it would play a little higher, and I succeeded. Yay! I do like the lower frequency more on the bowl, though, I will say. But you gotta hit it closer to the base. Ooh, that was a nice one. That was a nice one. Okay, I'm filming this video so late. I should actually stop hitting that so close to the mic because it's a little too close. Okay, that's the last one. I'm obsessed with the bowl. I can't stop hitting it. Okay. Keep looking in here and I see dust. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. That'll be the end of this video, guys. I will see you next time. Don't forget to check out my ASMR channel. It'll be linked down below, and along with any other links you guys might be interested in. And yeah, catch you next time on the next one. Take care. Bye.